Hello, welcome. This is Dr. Renita Wellman, and I'm here with you in Psychology 1082 in Week 1. Week 1, here, I know we're approaching the end of Week 1, but I want to go over a few points with you now because now you're learning some of these terms. One of the important things is the, pardon me. There we go. Okay, good. My mic is on again. All right, so the essence of experimental design is what we're looking at is true experimental design. And this is characterized by random selection of participants and complete control over the extraneous variables. I used in the introduction to the course, I wanted you to get familiar with the Cresswell basic ideas in that paper. Now, Cresswell used the pre-test, post-test only design, which is a very nice, simple way of testing one effect. So you would measure how your participants are before you introduce them to this treatment, and then after you expose them to the treatment condition, you measure again the same thing. The one example was gaming. So let's say, do you want to see what is the impact of blood pressure from exposure to gaming, like an on computer online gaming system? One of the things you would control for is you'd start with a large research sample of participants, and then you would randomly assign them to the research condition. Since you only have one condition, you don't have two different computer games going on, or then you would just be assigning your, you'd randomly select your participants, and then you would assign them to the research condition. And you would measure blood pressure beforehand, that's your pre-test, and your blood pressure after, that's your post-test. If you're manipulating two or more independent variables, then you have a factorial design. So let's say you're interested in two or more hypotheses in a single project. So you want to see, is there a difference between what kinds of gaming people do, or even how much time they spend on the computer? Or perhaps you want to see, is there a difference between the gaming group and the group that watches a television show for the same amount of time? This is factorial design. Manipulation is when you change or manipulate your independent variable, such as exposure to gaming, what kind of games, half an hour of television, and or half an hour exposure just to blue light, for example. Random assignment is very important because you want to have your participants have an equal chance of being assigned to your treatments, or not assigned to those treatment conditions, or assigned to various treatment conditions. This has to do with the science of probabilities, which is very mathematical, which we're not going to study. The science of the mathematics of probabilities is already done for you, and the statistical analysis equations are already provided in a computer program when you would be doing your, you just plug in your data and the statistics program would spit out the information that you needed. I'd like you to look at a basic overview of experimental research methodology through this slideshow, which is Experimental Research Design by Dr. Jayesh Padidar. This is a very helpful slideshow, and I do recommend reviewing it. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you enjoy reviewing this material, and I would recommend that you consider this slideshow when you're thinking of what is your research question and how is that going to go into a hypothesis, because that will give you a sense of how many treatment conditions you're actually looking at, and also consider what you're going to measure. It might also be helpful to you to frequently review the template for your final project to see what kind of information, keep thinking about what kind of information you're going to need to be plugging in there. All right, take it a step at a time and relax and just absorb the material that makes sense to you. And the best way is not to try to understand material that you don't understand. And ask questions. Okay, I look forward to answering your questions and seeing you in the classroom. Bye for now.